let's talk about the big moment of the day when the Dick Dale song was played. As good as Dick Dale could do it. And that was Bill Bulinski, who rarely seen around here anymore. But man, does that guy still have it.
Well, Bill, now we're talking about, we've alluded to our Northland legends before. Well, Bill was in a, let's say, a famous group from northern Minnesota called the Electras. Now, the boys are all out of Ely. And Bill was lead guitarist. His brother was a bassist, Earl Bulinski. And a few years ago, the Electras were inducted into the Mid-America Music Hall of Fame. Now, you might recall Minnesota Mike Chase was there. I brought him up to introduce Bill as his rock and roll royalty, because that's how I refer to these guys. You know, there's just some guys that are way up here and everybody else is just below them. Mm-hmm. Well, at any rate, knowing Bill and the work he's done in the music the Electras have produced, you know, some of their stuff is collected worldwide. Some of their records are still collected worldwide. Anyways, so when we were putting this event together, I called Bill, and I had this song specifically in mind. There was a kid from Superior named Jim Ben Pembroke,
Jim Well,
who played with the was it the Emotionals, who recorded Miserlou. He recorded it, I think I heard when he was like 15 or 16.
Wow.
It's the best I've ever heard. Sidestep Dick Dale. Okay, right. It's the best I've ever heard. We have it on our one of our CDs. I think it's our Volume 1 60s Smash Hits, Duluth Rock Records. But anyways, I know that Bill has done this and played this and does, and Bill's one of those guys who doesn't play it note per note off the record every time. He does a little change up, as you heard. There was a little change up in there, but it was pretty damn cool. Well, at any rate,
brilliant.
I called Bill and I said, "Hey, Bill, we're doing this benefit for Mickey Jackson. You know, Mickey, that Farfisa story where the Electras borrowed Mick's vintage Farfisa to take to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They played it for the induction, yada yada." Anyways, I got the Farfisa back from Bill and I said, "Bill, would you be interested in coming up and doing Miserlou?" Well, he said, well, sure, I'll do it. And then I called George Zesus from the Centerville All-Stars.
Yes.
And I said, would you work with Bill and do this? And, well, of course, George. You know George. Yeah. I mean, like, this is his deal. This is his whole deal.
Yeah.
And he said, well, yeah, I'll let you know. And I said, talk to the band. Because all you need is bass and drums and a second guitar. That's all you need.
Right.
You know. And sure enough, they did it. Well, at any rate, so here we are. Centerville's already on stage, as you well know. Bill's not even in the building. So we're looking at like 20 minutes. We need Bill. Well, sure, he shows up just right after that. So but I told him when Centerville was playing and when he would approximately play, so he was right on the money. But he shows up. Long introduction. I introduced Mike. Mike introduced him, and they finally got his stuff together. Well, here we are. I mean, they go into this crazy, the best rock surf tune on the planet.
Yes.
By the master of surf rock himself, Dick Dale, wrote it. And here's Bill Bulinski's version of it. And, well, we all saw what happened. It tore the house down.
Yes. It
just tore the house down. And every senior musician there and music lover, they were on their feet for this guy, because where do you hear that? Where do you go and hear that? You know, you just don't. You just don't. And not only that, it's the legend himself playing. You know, for us, I mean, that's our Dick Dale.
Yes.
You know, and actually, Bill was in a very, very noted surf group called the Greaseballs,
Okay.
who did a couple of albums. They were based out of Chicago. Cool surf rocks.
Yeah.
Totally surf rock. Coolest stuff you've ever heard in your life.